What's going on, guys? Fleazy here. I'm a visual artist and designer based out of Dallas, Texas. I've been working with Photoshop for over 5 years now, and I know how intimidating it can feel when starting out. That's why in today's video I'm going to teach you how to remove an image background with Photoshop's quick mask mode, and most importantly, help you become a better artist and designer. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about today is using the quick selection tool with the hotkey W in order to select the image background. Now if we hit W and pull up our tool, you'll notice that we can increase or decrease the size using the bracket keys. Left for decrease, right for increase. Now let's try and select the image background that we want to remove. You'll notice already we're clipping into part of the crown and we don't want to have that selected. So let's deselect this. Let's try it over here. And you'll notice it's still doing the same thing where it's clipping into the selection the crowns that we don't want to have selected. So let's deselect. Let's try it on this side. And you'll notice the same thing. It's because there's not enough contrast between the arm and the background. If we zoom in here, you'll notice that it is a dark region of the arm that is getting selected, and that's the con of using the quick selection tool. So let's deselect that. Now the same problem is going to actually occur with the magic wand tool as well. So if we try it out over here, you'll notice it's still clipping into those dark regions of our image that we don't want to have selected in our quick mask. Now let's try it over here. You'll see it works a little bit better than the quick selection tool, but it's also cutting into the darker regions that are connected near the background because there's not enough contrast separating the background from the actual foreground of our image. And now what we can do to actually fix that selection is go back up here to our magic wand tool, or using the hotkey W to pull that up, and let's select or reselect the parts of the background that we want to have removed. Even though we have these parts of our foreground of the image that we don't want to have selected, we can actually use the quick mask to remove those from our selection. So you'll find the quick mask over here on the left hand side of the screen, right here, this little icon. Now if I hover above it, you'll see it says edit in quick mask mode, or hit Q for the hotkey. So we can hit this, click down, or we can hit Q and go into the quick mask mode. Now from here, the way this works is you're going to be using the brush tool to apply or remove parts of the selection to the quick mask. So what that means is hit B to bring up your brush tool, and you'll notice we'll have our different brush presets. I'm going to use the soft to get a nice soft edge or blend and have it not too sharp. So let's click that, and now you'll notice we have in our palettes down here the black and the white. So when I try and paint with this, I have the white up, right? So I'm painting with the brush, but that's removing part of the quick mask selection. So let's hit Command Z to redo or undo that, and then we're going to hit X for the hotkey to switch from white to black. And you'll notice when I have X pulled up, or when I have the black pulled up, now I'm able to add or paint onto my selection, right? So we can continue painting here and zoom in a little bit to get the finer details. Hit B again to pull up our brush again, and just kind of draw with your mouse and get those nice edges. And now we're only going to be focusing really on the edges at this point, and then later on we can use a bigger brush in order to fill in the rest. So now you're going to go through, find all the edges that are missing from the actual selection, kind of just figure out something close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to pretty much just be drawing using the brush tool on your quick selection. Now I'm going to speed up this part of the process for you guys. Okay, so now that we have our edges defined using the brush tool in the quick mask mode, we can go up here and switch to a hard brush. And now using the hard brush, we'll increase the size using the right bracket, zoom in a bit, and we're going to just fill in those blank areas that we had left out while we were defining the outline. So let's fill these in real quick. Fill in all the blank spots. And again, we're just drawing, clicking and dragging with the brush tool to add to our selection, the same way that we did the outline. And zoom out and see how it looks. And it looks pretty good. Alright, so from here, you're going to go back to the quick mask mode, or you'll remember that the hotkey is Q. You can hit Q or click this, and you'll notice it brings up a bounding box based on the quick mask that we had just applied. Now all we have to do from this point, once we have our bounding box selected based on the quick mask that we made, we just have our bounding box and we can hit delete, and that will remove the background of that image. Now you'll notice in the layers panel in the bottom right section of my screen, I have a blank background layer and also a galaxy layer. If we hide using the eye icon right here next to the blank background, we can hide this white layer. If I do that, I have this galaxy image that I pulled up, and now we have a new background on our image. But let's say that we're not quite happy with the way that this is coming out so far as a total design, because you'll notice we have the purples and the blues and pinks back here in the background, but it kind of looks a little funky with this image, and we want to change that. Maybe we want to change the color or something of the Statue of Liberty. Well, we can do that by coming over here on our layers panel, and we're going to hover over this thumbnail of the Statue of Liberty, hold down Command or Control based on whether you're on PC or Mac, and we're going to click this thumbnail. Once we do that, it's going to reselect the bounding box that we had based on our quick mask selection. Now we could come up here to the Adjustments tab. The Adjustments tab, there's a bunch of different options that you can use to apply an adjustment layer to the quick mask that we had created originally. Now let's say we want to change the color of this to have it more copacetic with the background. So we're going to pull up a hue and saturation layer. Now you'll notice in the layers panel it created a new layer called hue and saturation, and you'll notice in the thumbnail that it's basing the quick mask for this adjustment layer to the original image of the Statue of Liberty. So now what we can do is we can do anything like increase the saturation, change the hue, do all kinds of cool stuff. You can click this little colorize tab, and that'll make it all one color or based on one hue for the image. Let's see how something like red looks. And you can get a bunch of different cool variations working with these type of adjustment layers. So now you'll notice that with our new adjustment layer created with the hue and saturation being independent of our original image of the Statue of Liberty, we can make adjustments to this layer independent from our original. So now we can do things like, once we have this selected, hit Command T to bring up our transform tool. We can adjust the scale, the position, drag and drop wherever you would like it. But let's say we don't want to have that, so let's hit Command Z to undo. And now let's say we just want to maybe erase part of the saturation layer that we have here, because we want to bring some more highlights back into the face and show a little bit of the original image and blend the two together. Well, we can do that by hitting E to bring up our eraser tool, but you'll notice I'm getting this little caution symbol. So what that means is you're not able to adjust or erase the actual hue and saturation adjustment, but we can do that to the quick mask. So if you hover over the thumbnail on this layer and click on it, now you'll see we have the eraser tool pulled up. So let's say we want to erase just part of the face to bring a little bit more of the underlying image through this hue and saturation adjustment layer. So we can erase using the soft round brush in order to have a nice blend of the two layers. And let's say we want to add a little bit more or take away a little bit more, and we'll do some on the arm there. Let's say like this. So we got a little bit on the arm showing through. And let's say we want to do a little bit more, like maybe a little on the bottom, just to bring that underlying layer and have it peek through a little bit more. Could do something like that. Maybe we want to have some on the crown. And there you have it. Okay, so just to recap what we discussed in today's video, we talked about how to use Photoshop's quick mask mode and the brush tool to remove an image's background, how to apply adjustment layers based on our quick mask to make changes to the image's hue and saturation, and in my previous video I showed you all how to apply layer styles and use blending options, which I've used here to add the final elements to this design. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching this video today. If you found value in this content or learned something new, please show your support by taking a quick second to like this video, leave a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe to the channel for future content.